Have you ever had to chase a customer for payment and felt really embarrassed doing it? Even though you'd already done the work, you'd probably done absolutely brilliant work, and the customer was perfectly happy with it, but they're just really slow at paying their bill. And doesn't it feel cringy to have to chase them to get paid? Or maybe you've had one of those months where you've got loads of customers, you've got loads of work, everything's absolutely rosy, but all of a sudden one of your big customers is late paying, and what actually should be a really healthy month suddenly feels like it's all a little bit too close for comfort because now the cash you were expecting in hasn't come in. So when customers pay you late, it is just horrendous for your cash flow, and it can have such a knock-on impact, not just for the there and then, but also it can really impact your cash flow for this month and next month and potentially the ones after, when everything feels like it's such a roller coaster. So today I want to share with you 3 tips for how you can get paid faster and more consistently every single time. Woohoo! So my first tip is take payment up front. If you offer a service like mine, if you offer any sort of one-to-one service or advisory service, then take that payment up front. This is very much a regular routine business practice now, far more so than it perhaps was a few years ago. But I also regularly talk to people who say, oh, that doesn't happen in my industry. Oh, my customers would never go for that. But my answer to that is you don't know until you try. And if you're prepared to explain to a customer why you need, not that you need payment up front, but why that's your process, that your process is like that because none of us want to have that uncomfortable process of having to chase afterwards. And it eases the cash flow for me and for you. So you don't have to explain it as I need the money, but you just explain it as managing your cash flow better and being in your best interest and the customer's best interest. So if it's at all possible, start to take payment up front. If you have regular clients, it's near impossible to switch from payment in arrears to payment up front unless they switch to a new contract. So if they stop working with you, then they come back again, then there's no reason at that point why you can't explain our payment terms have changed and now we take payment up front. So that's your easiest one by far. The second option is staged payments. So that might be that you take a deposit straight away and then you take another 1, 2 or 3 payments during the course of the work that you complete for them, so that even if they're late paying that final invoice, it's only actually a really small amount of what they owe you, so it shouldn't be a huge hit on your cash flow. It also very often allows you to hold the customer accountable a little bit as you go through the work, so it gives you the power to say, well look, we can't move on to that next stage because you haven't paid the invoice for the work we've already done. So staged payments can be a really good way to just ease that cash flow burden. And if it's a customer that works with you long term, so if you offer something like accountancy or web hosting or something like that, you might actually want to think about moving things away from annual payments and switching to monthly payments, because that's so much easier for your customers to manage their cash flow. But it also means that you can start to build a bank of consistent cash flow every single month. And your perfect plan is that you get your business to a point where the recurring monthly income covers absolutely all your bills, and then the one-off income that comes in for new projects is the profit, or it's the growth fund for you in your business. So think about regular payments or staged payments, and that can really ease your cash flow. And then last but not least is to have a really clear credit control process. So credit control being the action of having to chase somebody when they are overdue with their payment. The crucial thing here is take the emotion out of this. If you have to chase somebody for payment, that's not because you can't afford to run your business or you don't run it properly or that you don't deserve to be paid. If you're chasing somebody for money, it's because their business is either not in tip-top shape or they don't quite have the right ethics or organisation around paying their bills on time. The embarrassment should sit with them, but so often sits with you because we feel cringy about chasing somebody for money. So my advice there is to have a really clear process. Understand how many days will you allow an invoice to be overdue before you chase it, and then how will you chase it? Is that by email, by telephone, by messenger, by letter? And what's stage 2? So if stage 1 is a phone call after 2 days, is stage 2 an email after 7 days? Just think about what would your steps be, and the final step should be send the customer to court. You never want to go there, but actually if you've got a robust process with that at the end of the line, what you'll find is you will get paid an awful lot faster than if you just drop occasional very nice messages about, you still haven't paid that invoice. If it's not too much trouble, and if you wouldn't mind at all, it'd be so nice if you could pay that invoice. Let's move away from being grateful for customers paying their invoices. Be organised, be professional, be on the ball and be diligent. Strip away the emotion and get paid what you're due when you are due it. So hopefully that's given you 3 juicy tips to really think about getting paid faster and more consistently. If you still need more help, drop me a message and I can help you put any of those into place in your business.